right.
Good evening, everybody. Go ahead, Charlie. Tell them about what's going on. Introduce us. Bring us on, baby.
I'll do it if you want me to. All right. Thank y'all for joining us Thursday night. Our little get together with yours truly in the Dirt Road Sports -1 tonight. We're going to be with you for the next hour or so. Got a lot of things to talk about, a lot of things to show you. It's been a long time, 2 weeks since we were here, and it's good to be back. And we're looking to seeing folks jumping on here from all over. We ask that you hit the like button if you're on Facebook, hit like and hit share, and let some other folks see what's going on. The big boy news conference is about to end. He's gonna fall out one. I don't know what's gonna happen, but we're gonna pick it up from right there, Floyd.
Yes, sir. Well, I started watching the press conference there. To start out with, he started a speech. He was, of course, reading everything, and I got into it for a little while. I was listening to him a little while, and then he went off the rails on me, and I said, I'm done with him. I cannot
Gotta
stand
go.
myself. But what it's like for you people that are raised in the South and raised on a farm and out in the country and everything. I know y'all. And y'all have seen a hog waller, how it gets, the more that they waller in it, the stinkier that it gets, the nastier that it gets, and the more they love it. They dwell on that. And I got to thinking about that. I said, that reminds me of a hog waller, just wallering in it and loving every minute of it. But I got to thinking deeper. I went biblical on this thing.
Uh oh.
Mm-mm. Uh-oh.
Wait a minute.
Mhm.
Okay, go ahead. I'm not
I
sure
don't know
things.
the I don't know the scripture. It's immaterial. But it's they somewhere in there it says it's like a dog returning to its vomit, and that's exactly what Joe Biden and the Democrats do. They vomit the same thing. Everything is Donald Trump's fault. Everything is the Republicans' fault. It's the end of the world. They keep recycling that. They're returning to that. But when he got to that point about where Donald Trump, it was the reason that the border was insecure because they had a bipartisan bill that was going to solve all the problems, everything, and doing all that. And it was all Donald Trump's fault. He railroaded that. He derailed that because they had a bill that was fixing to shut the border down. I knew right then I could not indulge that anymore because that is as big a lie as ever has been. I hated to go biblical on y'all with that analogy, but that's what it reminds me of. They keep going back to the same regurgitation.
And if you think it's over, it ain't over because today the Republicans passed a bill. I don't think it can go anywhere because the Senate is what it is, and the president and the vice president are what they are. But they passed a bill that was going to mainly make illegals and folks show citizenship in the U.S. to vote in the election. Because right now, as it is, I listened to an interview with the governor of the state of Arizona today. If you are not a citizen, and Lord knows the millions that have come across that border because Joe Biden invited them to, you can go to the polls and vote in the national election. You can vote for the president and vice president. You can vote for the Senate. And you can vote for the U.S. House of Representatives.
So,
You can't.
so
You can't vote. You can't vote in the state elections or local elections. But what in the heck is this all about? It's all about keeping the Democrats in power, and unless some folks get some bills and some laws passed between now and November, we're going to see the same thing we saw last time.
well, I got this question. See, because over here in Miller County, Georgia, if you gonna go vote, you got to show some driving license that proves you are who you say you are before you
It
can even go in to get a ballot. You have to sign up for that in the hall, and they have to check your ID. Now, how or is Georgia? Is that just a Georgia thing?
that's a state law. I think Alabama has the same state law, but there's a lot of states where the governor of Arkansas, I mean of Arizona, said it today. that they could vote the way it's set up now. They're trying to get a state law passed to prevent it. They can vote in the national election, but cannot vote in the local and the state. And if that is the truth, we are in for some of the nastiest stuff y'all have ever seen in your life. And I want we started on this. Let's get off something else, but it boils down to this: Juan Williams is a news contributor to Fox Network. I had rather sit around and watch paint dry than look at or listen to Juan Williams. But he brought up a very truthful thing, and this is the sad part about it. And this is going a little biblical with Floyd B. Lloyd. Uh, this whole thing with the Democrats, you know what the number one issue with the Democrats is? And this is from Juan Williams, and he would know because he are one.
Get
They
reelected.
won't no. Yeah, but here's the issue. They want the women want to be able to kill babies anywhere, anytime, and that's the number one concern with the Democratic Party is to be able to have abortion on demand. And if that don't show you what a sick country we live in, I don't know what would be any worse. Queasel, what would you think?
Well, I kind of disagree with that a little bit. I think the number one thing to the Democrats is beating Donald Trump because they hate him that bad. That's all they focus on. They don't care
And,
about nothing else. All they care about is beating Donald Trump. They don't care about nothing else. They don't care what they got to do it. They don't care if it's legal, illegal, crooked, straight. They don't make no difference. Count the votes till you get them the way they want them, whatever it takes. Beat Donald Trump. Now, I do agree that the abortion is a hot issue with them, but you know what? That goes further than politics. The answer to that is going to come after politics is all over. Those kind of questions are going to be answered for when you're standing up, before the judge, the
the
big,
judge, the big judge on Judgment
yeah,
Day is what you
yeah,
talking about. And
the big judge. That's right. But that is an important issue to them. But here's what I can't understand. And I'm trying, listen, I'm gonna tell you, I'm gonna be honest with y'all just for a minute. And it's hard for me to do it, but I'm remembering that you talking about scripture. You know, there's a scripture in the Bible says that he who hadn't sinned chunk the first rock. Well, I can't chunk no rock, but I I'm I really a certain part of me kind of feels a little bit sorry for Joe Biden because it's evident that the man is struggling. But his family and his closest friends are the one that puts him up on display so that he can struggle. I don't understand it. You know, if one of us was struggling, you know what we would do? We would pick one another up and help them. What it didn't make no difference what it was.
exactly,
But they ain't willing to do that. They willing to put him out and let him be the sacrifice for the whole Democratic Party if
Yeah,
that's what it takes. Win at all cost. It don't matter.
it don't matter. That's all about. It's like in the old West, old Wild West. Reminds me. He reminds me of a man. Y'all know when they'd all sit around the poker table, they'd be playing poker and drinking liquor, smoking cigars and all that. They'd be looking at one another. They'd be bad eyeing one another. And this man, he'd be winning all the pots. Joe Biden been winning all the pots his whole life.
That's
He
right.
won all the pots every time. Every time
hmm
he gave four aces, man. Let me drag that pot in here. He got caught with a card up his sleeve
Mhm.
while playing poker, and all them other folks around him. All them other folks around, they said, "Whoa, wait a minute!
That's
He
right.
said, you've been cheating. You've been." But see, the difference in the card game and Joe, they know he's been cheating the whole time. See, they know they've been part of the whole deal. But
exactly.
with the man with the card up his sleeve, somebody's gonna jump up and call him. Said, "I'm fixing to kill you. You better
That's right.
keep that card and shoot him," and he falls over. So I think Joe fit to take the shot. I really think he
Yeah,
fit to take the shot. So he's been caught cheating the cards.
Gonna take
and
the
that
fall.
yeah, that same thing about playing cards. Or what does Kenny Rogers gambling song play about? Say something
You
about you
got
got
to
to know when to
know when
hold
to
them
hold them.
and know when to fold them. It's
His
about
brother,
time for him to fold.
But you got to
he
have
doesn't
something
know.
up here. See, you got to have some material up here
That's right.
that
But you
tells
know,
you.
I tell you what's happening. Here's what's happening. Obama has been in control the whole time. He and the squad. And what's happening now is Uncle Joe don't want to go uh, because the wife and little Hunter Pooh needs a job and something to do. And so what they're doing behind the scenes, and I guarantee you this is what's going on. That's what they're doing, boys. How much?
you
How much? How much have we got to pay that Biden family
Mhm,
to get them to go away?
mhm,
And then we'll have cackling Camilla.
mhm.
well, there's a there's a lesson in life to look at that and learn. And I know y'all all heard it because I heard it my whole life. You know, when everything's going good and you on top, you got friends everywhere. But
Everywhere.
boy, when you start slipping a little bit, when
Ooh,
when when you
man,
Ooh,
ain't on the
yeah,
top no more, them
ooh.
friends are kindly they'll spread on out for you. They'll distance themselves a little bit.
they going
Uh,
back. You know, I've
yes,
noticed this afternoon that Biden, bless his heart, he introduced Zelensky on
yeah,
the Ukraine. But here's my take on the whole deal with Zelensky. Zelensky and Biden are in this thing together with Russia. Zelensky is just as corrupt and as crooked and as vicious as Putin is. Ukraine is not a democracy. You don't have
No,
any freedoms in Ukraine other than what Zelensky tells you can have. All right, Zelensky and Putin get together and they say, and they don't care anything about human life. Neither one of them do. They don't care anything about themselves. They said, look here, now we got an idiot in the White House over here in the United States of America. We can make him do anything, and Zelensky knows because they've already paid him off through his son Hunter, bribes and all that. So they got all the goods on Joe. They know. So Zelensky and Putin get together and they scheme and they connive and say, now we can get some kind of money out of the United States of America. He has
keep
sent
it flowing.
billions and billions of dollars to Ukraine, and there's no accountability for any of it. Nobody knows where the money's at. And Zelensky is just as corrupt and just as crooked and just as vicious a fellow as Putin is. Zelensky then, in turn, he sends money back to the Biden crime family, and they do what they want to do with it. And then he sends some of that money over there to Putin, and Putin can put it in his offshore Swiss bank account somewhere, and everybody is happy. There's no end to the war. The war is
No,
never going to end because the money train is too strong. And the money
exactly.
train always follows the money. When you got 100, $200 billion going to somebody, a corrupt dictator of a country, you can bet that money's getting spread out to very few people are getting part of it. But the Biden crime family is getting their part of it. I promise you that because they already had the connections in there with Hunter and that Burisma deal that Joe was involved in and Hunter was involved in. They
Hmm.
just corrupt
Yeah.
people doing business. That's all it is.
fellas,
Uh,
I hate to change the subject on y'all, but I got to change it on something. I just got a news briefing, a picture of him from Dawsonville, Georgia.
oh,
Looked like Marvin skipped out on us tonight, and apparently he's doing a show in his old Mayhaw suit.
That looks like an outfit that Marvin had right there.
That looks just
I'm
like it,
kidding
don't
you.
it? Yeah, that come from my old buddy up there in Dawsonville, old Lanier Swafford. He done seen Marvin up there in the parking lot playing
did
and
Mark?
dumping money in his
He's playing
guitar
for money.
case.
Well,
Yeah,
did he eat a persimmon before he went on stage?
it
It
looked
kind of
like
looks
he
like.
did.
I hate to say this, fella. Now that looks like a slim Marvin.
It does.
that just ate a persimmon that didn't go good.
The only bad thing about this is he ain't here, so we could get him with it. But we'll save it for next week, and we'll eat him up next week.
Woo!
But there he is. That's why he ain't on the show. He in Dawsonville, Georgia, up there in the parking lot at Kmart, playing his guitar, and folks are throwing money in his guitar
Playing
case.
for tips.
Mercy.
No, Jesus.
I,
That was good to kind of break it up, and we were getting a little heavy. Some folks, I don't know if we lost anybody. We probably have lost everybody that was watching in from Martha's Vineyard, but I don't see anybody that left and was watching from down in Southwest Georgia, Southeast Alabama, or Northwest Florida.
Well, I hated to break it up, but I couldn't sit
well,
on that.
So you understand, hey, when you got something
we
like
got,
that, man, that pot runneth over right there.
let's talk about one of our sponsors right quick, Sowega. If you got that ready, Cody, if it is, let me tell you, they are making a mark over here on this side of the river, boys. The Colquitt location, well, between Colquitt and Blakely, they still there on 27. But man, have they ever created some traffic and interest over here around Headland, Alabama, right there on US 431. So Wigga Meats. Both locations have great meats, great sauces, great spices, things like ribeyes, fillets. And, you know, Kenny kind of pushes that Floyd B. Lloyd special over here a lot. New York strips, T-bones, ground beef, some of the best sausage you'll ever put in your mouth. And they now, at the Headland location, are selling and have in stock working cows dairy products. We're talking about raw milk, homogenized. They got chocolate milk from working cows dairy. They got the cheeses, everything. Check them out. They're the place for great meats in this area, locally produced. Our friends at Sowega, 431 Headland, and 27 between Blakely and Colquitt, Georgia.
Good deal. Floyd, why don't you go on to tell them about our good buddies at TK's?
Oh, TK is a good place. Me and Nadine got us a plate there from last night. Got us out fried. Got us out regular. I called over there, and the cook answered the phone. The cook answered the phone, and she answered the phone, and I said, "Hey," I said, "I want my special." She said, "What you want there, Floyd?" Said, "You want them? You want that two fillets and that double order of them home fries?" I said, "That's exactly what I want." The cook, when the cook knows you at a place like that right there, let me tell you, that's hometown folks, hometown cooking. Anyway, went in there last night. We got our late plate, brought it on home, sliced us up some of them real good Charles pickle homegrown Georgia tomatoes, and we made a meal right there. TK's Bar and Grill right in Colquitt, Georgia. You'll love it. Great food. Uh, they changed the grease. You ain't got to worry about them cooking in transmission fluid or anything like that. It's good grease. It's good food. So y'all know what about this. Go. Some of y'all don't. Anybody, Martha's Vineyard, you have no idea what I'm talking about. Anyway, go to TK's. They are good. That's a good place to eat. Go in there. They serve lunch in there. They serve supper in there. So go check them out.
Cody, if you will, I want to, before we go any further, acknowledge something. There's a picture of me with a young lady and then a group of people in a group shot. I want to say Sunday afternoon, I had the privilege and pleasure to attend the 100th birthday of Miss Dot Hardy in Tumbleton, Alabama. That was up there at New Zion Free Will Baptist Church. Miss Hardy, 100 years
Wow.
young, boys. That's Kyle's mama, Queasel.
I see him
Kyle,
there.
I see
Kyle,
you sitting there.
Jerry, and then the sisters Judy and Zelda with all their all the grandkids, great grandkids. There might even be some great. I don't know,
Well,
but
how about
that
that?
that was a great get together. Let me tell you. And I heard stories. I didn't get to talk that long with Miss Dot, but that lady before she married Mr. L.J. Hardy, her late husband, I was told she could pick upwards of 300 pounds of cotton a day when she
Wow.
was a teenager.
I don't doubt it.
Hmm.
I've seen
And
that done.
where would Floyd stand on that list?
No,
How many pounds?
no, I'm way down on the list on that, honey. But I've seen it
Hmm.
done, and from a little woman about her same size, right there. My
But
mama,
that
my
folks,
mama. So
folks
I've
came
seen
from
it done.
all
So,
over to celebrate.
yeah.
It's amazing
Them
what they
good
did
people.
back then. Good folks, good
Good
folks.
people. They are good
Amen.
people.
Amen. Salt of the earth, man.
Yep.
Absolutely. Throw us up
Yep.
some more ads there, Cody. Let's get some of these ads taken care of before we go into some more business there, if you will.
Well, we're gonna do the
No,
Not
hosted
that one.
nine. Hosted nine. We're gonna go through to the hosted nine right here now.
All right.
Marvin didn't send a complete list, but the hosted nine, we've been telling y'all about them ever since they've been in business. Anything you need is in the way of firearms, in the way of personal protection, hunting, anything you need, they got it in. They got shotguns, long rifles. You hog hunters. I know I hear people all the time fuss about these feral hogs. They got you everything you need to take care of that problem. Need to go down there and talk to them. They got all the scopes. You got the ammunition, the right kind of rifles. If you're looking for personal protection that you can keep in your pocket, they got the small pistols, they got big pistols, they got all the bullets, ammunition you need, anything you want, they got it. They also have the knowledge and they don't mind sharing it with you. You don't know exactly what kind of gun you need, go talk to them. They'll tell you. Go next door, Phillips Auto Parts, all your automotive needs, farming, anything you need for that. Those world famous Floyd B. Lloyd endorsed Floyd B. Lloyd rabbit pellet grills with, they got different flavors of rabbit pellets. Go see them, give them a call right under those two American flags, 27 South, just off the square.
Floyd,
Yo,
have you heard from your cousin Bookie lately?
I ain't heard nothing about a Boogie. I've been too busy. I ain't had time to talk to Boogie. He's called and called and called. I have not heard from Boogie lately.
Reckon he's
Uh-oh.
out of money, like all these folks down. That little short video that Cody. Let me set this up. I gripe about, and I think I have good reason to gripe about the traffic we have on 431. It's not my friends over in Southwest Georgia that I feel like I'm somewhat a part of. It's that, as Jack Wingate said, DAMN country of Atlanta up there in those 8 or 10 counties around it. Sunday afternoon, when I was coming back from Miss Dot's birthday celebration, I was at the intersection of 431 and County Road 99, better known as Old 431 or the Tumbleton Highway. And if you show that, you wouldn't think at 2:30 on a Sunday afternoon in Headland, Alabama, traffic would be what it was. I thought it was Atlanta, Georgia. It was night for a place to stay. They've eaten at the seafood buffet that's $70 a person. They are flat broke and hope they've got enough gas in the tank to get them to Atlanta. And those that don't, those that are the socialites that have the EVs, your Teslas, they were still down there at the Winn Dixie across from the medical center charging up so they could get back up to Atlanta.
Mm-hmm.
Ain't nothing like it, man. Hey, and we met them today, man. They didn't have to go to Albany to the doctor up there today. We met them. They were coming son down Highway 91. It was just a steady stream of travel
Mm-hmm.
trailers. Them my cars and these
And
SUVs with the thing strapped on top of the car, and there were little things off the back bumper back there, them little racks back there all piled up with stuff. They were headed south, buddy. Y'all go
I
down
know
there.
where they was going.
They go, yeah.
They wasn't going to Dothan, Alabama, because I had to go to Dothan to the eye doctor.
No, they still wasn't going to do
No.
that anymore.
I figured they somewhere between two. Well, I figured wrong. Charlie said my estimate was too low, but I figured
Yeah.
now they somewhere between 200, 250,000 licensed drivers right in our little tri-state area right here, and 247,000 of them don't know how to drive. All 247,000 of them was in Dothan, Alabama this morning.
That
They was
I
there.
did see a certain type of vehicle in the country of Atlanta crew going home that was seemed to be a lot of them from up there around Metro Atlanta. And Cody, you got the picture of the vehicle, and the this kind of, what do you boys see this? If I think Cody knows the one I'm talking about, but there was a lot of these seriously all weekend long that was coming down and going back. Thank the good Lord we don't have many of these vehicles in our area. You know the one I'm talking about, Cody?
Marvin must not have loaded that one.
Okay, all right.
Got to
What
describe it for us, Charlie. What did he look
I
like?
describe it, it's one of those squatting Tahoes like that,
Uh-huh.
and then the bottom part of the picture is a dog dragging his rear end across the grass. There was significance in that because that is
They have the same thing in common.
well, it was a group of Democrats going to vote early in the car, and they let the dog just run wild, but the dog looked just like them. You can't make it up.
You
Well,
know, I ain't figured out how they.
You're being insensitive. Y'all are being insensitive now.
Oh
Yeah.
no!
I remember back in the '60s. We had these cars, and we jacked the front end up. We jacked the front end up, the back beat down like that. You remember seeing them like them 61 Starliners and all that kind of stuff? And we'd have the front end all jacked up, and the back end, because it wouldn't be squatted like that. But
No.
that was a different demographic that did that, if you will.
And then you got into the mid '60s, and you jacked the rear end of it up and went the other way with it.
Well, if you jack the rear end up, you can see where you're going. I don't see how they see
Thank
where
you.
you're going when they're going down the road like this. They looking up here in the sky somewhere.
It's a
They
special
got to
deal.
look out the window. They got to look out the window.
You can go coon hunting on one, Queensland, do pretty
I
well.
reckon so. Yeah,
Oh, easy
I
now.
reckon
Whoa, back
so.
off, y'all. But anyway, that's the way it is. Times change, demographics change, times change.
Woo!
Oh, habits change, everything changing.
That's right.
Oh,
I bet they don't
Ah.
flip the breathe. They ain't even got a breather to flip no more, do they?
Cody, I want to, if you will, throw that video
No.
up that we talked about a little bit with me and you a little bit earlier. There was a video of these two people. And I want y'all to, if y'all can, somebody can please, you can chime in on the side or whatever you want to do there. Tell me what is going on with Maxine Waters. If you could tell me what is going on with Maxine as she's doing this interview that we fixed to show him. Some news lady is interviewing her, and Maxine has some problems. She is having some complications. And I
Not
want y'all
Maxine.
to tell me, because Maxine has complications all the time. She's completely complicated. If you have that, put it up. If you don't, we'll come to it later.
Through his presidency, they've also seen former President Trump. They've lived through his presidency. They've heard these arguments about democracy, about the fate of the election, and yet Trump is not only winning, but winning increasingly by a larger margin. So what is the plan among Democrats to change that trajectory? It sounds like you're talking about saying and doing all the same things, but do you believe that something needs to change?
I think we need to keep working. Damn, you getting my wig all twisted?
Share with us. Share with us if you can tell us what
she got-
Maxine was doing.
I know.
Go ahead.
She got lice. She got lice in that wig.
I was looking for with them fake fingernails. I was looking on them to pull one out. So what going on? What's going on with my wig hat here?
That might be the ugliest woman I have ever seen in my life. If she's not the ugliest,
She's a United States Congresswoman representing a district in the state of California that she doesn't even live in. The district that she represents is so poor she won't live there. She lives in another district, but that's okay.
oh yeah.
That's fine.
Yeah.
It's no problem. But I've never seen anybody do that on doing an interview other than Maxine. But it don't matter. Hey, that's normal for Maxine. But if she had them fingernails all fixed up and all that, man, now she's a 90-year-old woman now with fingernails like that.
Charlie, after that, Floyd might need him. Why don't you tell us about Shingler Law. Floyd might need him after that video right there.
Hey, he's our buddy.
Yeah.
We got him. We got him on retainer. He's out, and we hadn't had to call on him yet. Thank the Lord. We may have to.
Well, you might after that one.
Answer back seat.
Oh,
But Shingler Law, he's connected. He knows people. He knows how to get the job done. If you got a problem, call old Billy Shingler over in Dawsonville. He's a good lawyer. At some point in your life, you are going to need a good lawyer. So y'all remember him, Shingler Law, Billy Shingler, Dawsonville, Georgia, 229-524. That's his office number, 1225, right downtown Dawsonville, Georgia. He's right there in the heat of the battle. He is our friend. He watches us every Thursday night that he can, that he ain't on vacation or in the courtroom or somewhere defending people. But he's a good lawyer, and we believe in him. We trust him. We know what he'll do. So y'all check out Brother Shingler there, if you will, in Dawsonville.
mercy.
Mr. Not Guilty. That's him.
Not guilty. That's him. Exactly.
Yeah.
That's his motto.
That's
Mr.
him.
Not guilty.
You better keep his number on speed dial.
I got him. I got him in my contacts right here.
I'll tell you what,
Every Thursday he watches. And what did he say? He
Max-
watches every Thursday.
Maxine, boy, she could be a bad one to deal with now.
She's tough, now, brother. I mean, she jars the
I
ground.
You know what would frighten me the most about being around Maxine and getting in trouble with her? She might bite me.
Huh?
if she
Man,
bit you, that'd be
she got a set of false teeth that will not wait. I guarantee you, but she got us
and
some choppers.
she got to use some heavy duty polydent too to keep them in there.
no. She uses super glue. Super glue.
I wonder what's going on up under that wig, on her scalp, and all up on her there with that deal. And I just wonder. I've seen her with some shoes on. I saw her with. She tries to be the Nancy Pelosi, is who she tried. The other Nancy Pelosi, and old Nancy, she wears them stilettos, pumps and everything. And I saw a picture one time. Nancy and Maxine standing up there together. More they were put together, man. Nancy had her stilettos on, them high heel shoes, and Maxine had hers on. And Maxine's foots was coming all out of her stilettos. They wouldn't fit me in just right, like you talk about. They were bulls, you get into what them little toes is down there. They were big bulls right up on top of that. And she standing there, she kind of pigeon-toed like that, standing there. But Nancy's styling. She done been to charm school. But Maxine not been to charm school.
But if Maxine is shooting to be like Nancy, she ain't shooting too high. I mean, she ain't aiming for much.
But Nancy's got the style. But Nancy looked bad the other day on TV when they woke her up about 8 o'clock in the morning.
She didn't have no lipstick on.
She didn't have no lipstick on. She didn't have no rouge on. She had no makeup on. She didn't have a scarf on. Everything. She looked like, and they did have to say, "What's wrong with Nancy?" I said, "She was drunk all night." I said, this morning, she didn't have time to come to the studio to get all the makeup put on. But she looked disheveled, if you will.
You know what's been fun for me to watch in this whole deal, and Nancy's one of the stars of the show when it comes to this, is all these reporters is now asking these Democrats about what's going on. Should he leave? Should he stay? And they're all trying to outrun the reporters. I mean, Nancy does a good job for her age in those stilettos. She keeps a good pace going, but there's some of them that just yell back at her. I don't answer anything. This is fun to watch, and here's the fun part about it: the stupid mainstream media has been a part of all this since day one. They've been a part of it since day one, and now they're acting. Oh, did you see he stumbled? How he did the debate? Oh, he called Putin. Oh, he called this. They're acting like they're surprised, and they've been a part of it the whole time.
Since he ran for president back in 2019 when he was in the basement, they were scared for him to get out of the basement.
That's right.
For rally, and he'd be standing up there, and the rally would be about 10 cars out in a parking lot, and they would be sitting out there honking the horn whenever he said something impressive. Donald Trump would have 50,000 people in one arena, but Trump got beat. So don't ever underestimate the ability of the Democrat Party to win elections.
That's exactly
And,
right.
and
At
I'm
all
gonna go.
costs.
I'm gonna go one deeper. Don't always trust all the Republicans to do the right thing,
Right.
because a lot of them are in the same deadgum club as these Democrats. I'll give you one example over here. Uh, I never liked Richard Shelby. Richard Shelby only switched to the Republican Party because he couldn't win as a Democrat anymore in the state of Alabama. We've got a lot of that in this state. Meemaw herself was a hardcore Democrat until 2003, couldn't get elected as a Democrat anymore, so she starts flying a Republican flag. What do they really believe? Who knows? But they want to be a part of the club and make a living off the taxpayers all their ever-loving lives.
Amen. That's
Case
it.
closed.
And we got our congressman over in the 2nd district, brother Sanford Bishop. He voted against the bill you was talking about a little bit earlier there, Charlie, about the safe voter bill. You know,
Yep.
where you have to be a citizen to vote.
Every Democrat voted against it. Every one of them.
Every one of them. He voted against it. So
Yeah.
let me tell y'all something. Let me tell you Democrats out there, if any of y'all might be watching, any of you Democrats, I don't care who you are, any of you Democrats. Okay, so Stanford says it's okay for an illegal alien to wipe your vote out. You
That's
don't
right.
anymore. Let me tell you what, all the disenfranchised, you talk about you disenfranchised and all this kind of stuff. And the Democrat Party's here. The Democrat Party's got a whole new group of disenfranchised people that they are catering to, and it is the illegal aliens that have invaded this country. I was reading a story the other day, a little town south of Springfield, Ohio, 60,000 in the town. Joe Biden and the Democrats have imported 20,000 Haitians into that town. 20,000. The town is gone. And you got people here, they rental these slumlords that have all this rental property around everywhere. The slumlord. They're not renting homes to people. They're renting rooms in homes to people. So you get you there's a house there with a 3-bedroom, 2-bath house and all that. So you rent a bedroom and you rent part of a bathroom and you rent part of the kitchen. That's how they're doing this thing. And the federal government is paying the rent on this stuff. So you got 25 Haitians living in one house in a neighborhood. Now that's coming to your neighborhood, Democrats. I don't know where you are. I don't know where you are. I don't know if you like that kind of stuff or not. But that's what's coming to your neighborhood. But it's a little small town in Ohio. It's 20,000 Haitians. Can speak no English, have no skills, have no education, have no intention of assimilating into your town. They're coming by design, and those people are going to vote.
Yep.
You know, we need to maybe call some of our friends up there on Martha's Vineyard and find out how they got rid of all them immigrants that come up there that they got rid of mysteriously in about 2 or 3 days. You know,
They
you
got
heard
rid. They
about
got
them.
them gone. They didn't want them
They're
there. Hey man,
gone.
y'all did not wait. Ooh, y'all got to
They
move
was
out of
gone.
here.
So
That's
maybe
Martha's
we need
Vineyard. Hey man, that's a liberal bastion right there.
yeah,
And
maybe we need to see how they done it.
they're the most receiving people that there are in the world. Oh yeah, we just sensitive to y'all's needs until their needs interfere with you.
Isn't
You know?
that the home of Mr. Obama and Michael?
That's
Huh?
one of his house. Yeah. Well,
Yeah.
Barry and Michael have a home there, Hawaii. They have one in Chicago. They have one in California.
They need one there. Yeah.
They've got one there. So they worked hard, man. They worked hard their whole life. They set
Mm,
free. But
mm, mm,
what
mm,
else?
mm. Floyd, tell them about Ziggy B's down there where we can get us some seafood.
Well, hey, I was in there tonight, man. I, I visit with all the people that support us, that advertise with us. I'm a customer of theirs. Ziggy B's one of my main customers. Always enjoy going in there. And just nothing else, having a conversation. But every time I'm doing that, I go in there and buy me something to eat. Got me some steamed shrimp tonight. Got me some. Didn't have time. Didn't want to heat that stove up to fry them shrimp. Got me some steamed shrimp. Man, they were so fine. And also now, listen to this now, please. Ziggy B and Charlie. Ziggy B now is selling. They're selling Sowega Meat Company steaks in there and sausage.
Aha.
Yes.
Mhm.
You can get you a Floyd B. Lloyd special. You can get you a ribeye. You get whatever kind of cut of meat you want. Smoked pork chop and some of those good, I mean, some real delicious, good smoked sausage. And seafood. She's got the freshest seafood anywhere around. Goes down every Wednesday, picks it up fresh, gets a truckload every Wednesday, picks it up fresh, brings it in there, sells out by Saturday afternoon. She's sold out. She's done all fresh. Ain't nothing slack about Ziggy B Seafood. Y'all go
That's
see
right.
B Seafood right there in Concord, Georgia, kind of right there on West Main Street coming out of Concord, right by that big old Ford dealership. You can't miss it.
You know, I'm a little upset we were not on the 4th of July. I miss seeing you guys, but what I missed most, I found out a day late, $1 short. She had the Low Country Boil
Yeah,
last Friday, and I missed it.
you missed it. Go there.
So,
A good one.
Floyd, I want you to reach out and see if you can get up our resident plumber, KWG Plumbing. And while he's getting him up, Charlie, tell everybody about Kenneth Wayne Garney, how good his plumbing is. Tell him a little bit about him while Floyd's reaching out to him.
Well, he no longer in the 24 hour a day category. We got him on target now. Kenny Wayne Plumbing, they do some of the best work you'll ever see. They're good, reliable Christian folks to do business with. He will come out and give you an estimate on whatever project you may need, whether it's a small fix something or maybe it's new construction or add on to your home. Any type of plumbing you'll find with Kenny Wayne and the crew. And we appreciate him being a part of our Thursday night get together here.
We got him on the phone now, Charlie. We got none other than Wayne Garney, KWG Plumbing, all over the place right here. Tell us what's going on in your world there, Brother Wayne.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Loud and clear. Glad to be on after the 4th of July. Y'all hurt my feelings about the Democrats. I was planning on voting for Joe Biden, but I'm going to have to swap up now the way y'all done hurt my feelings about talking about it.
Hey, we apologize to no one, Kenny Wayne.
We've been working. We've been in Clio, Alabama, Dothan, Alabama, Troy, Alabama, Service Calls, Cedar Springs, you name it. We've been there working in. Thank you. Yes, sir.
Man, that's great. That's what you're in business for. That's what you got your shingled out for. We love you, Kenny Wayne. You're one of our great sponsors. We love it. Love having you on every Thursday night talking to us, and you talk to us about your business, and then you also talk to us about the fishing business, and you talk to us about the wildlife. So tell us what you've been doing in the fishing world, Wayne.
Well, the week before the 4th of July, I don't know if Marvin got the pictures in there because he's late low tonight. He probably had a buffet somewhere eating, but Ricky Bracewell outdone me last week with them fish off Aycock Creek, so we went fishing after work and had 107 in 3 different spots off Aycock Creek.
Woo! I said, man, that's a honey hole right there. So, but now you know how to work Aycock Creek. Everybody can't get to Aycock Creek, Wayne. Now you share that with them. Now you got to know your way around to get to Aycock Creek.
You got to know your way around, and what we did, we went to the bridges on the public highway and parked the four-wheeler on the side and just went under the bridge and waded and done good, me and 2 other guys after work. But I don't know if Marvin got them pictures in. Man, we had 107 of them little sweet brim. And there was a lady that's in dire need. Her days are starting to wind down, and she wanted some brim. And we blessed her with a mess of fresh, clean brim. She was so happy.
All right, let me explain to some of these folks that might be listening in on Martha's Vineyard there, Wayne. Wading and fishing. Tell us how that wading and fishing works.
Yeah, well, wading and fishing, you have to be at peace with the snakes and the spiders. But them folks on Martha's Vineyard, they just bite them, right off the bat. Yeah, so what we do, we go out there and we say a prayer before we get started. we go fishing and we find the holes and we get up there on the sandbar under the shade or something, just give it a fit. But them folks, they don't even know how to bait a hook. So talking about fishing is just out of the
No, they don't know nothing about. Only thing is they don't know nothing about no fish. They have no idea about anything in the real world. But we do. But the wading, there's been a many family fed, man, by somebody wading in a creek somewhere and catching a mess of fish and taking them home and cleaning them and cooking them and feeding their family. I mean, that's a fact in this part
That's
of the country.
it.
But you do it the old style way, Kenny. You know how to do it the new way. I mean, you got your good fishing boat with a good motor on it, and you also know how to do it the old time real way, the way folks used to do it.
Well, I'm gonna tell y'all, just between me and y'all, I have a heap more fun wading the creek than I do on a boat. It's 10-1.
I'm telling you, I know that's a real
Out there in
deal.
that creek and wade, and get in there, and connect with nature and God's country. When you're out there on that boat, you're kind of like, hey, I'm in control. I can go here, I can go there.
Let me drop a little story on you here. I knew a man, an older gentleman here in Cochran, and he had gone through some hard times, but and during those hard times he would wade the creek, Spring Creek here, and he didn't have any bait. He didn't have any bait, and he would run his hand up under a log in the Spring Creek, and he would find crawfish. He would find him a crawfish to bait his hook with, and he throw it out there and catch the fish. But he was a great man. He was a great man that lived here in this county and did that. So anyway, you folks on Martha's Vineyard, you have no clue what we're talking about. And some of you folks that might live somewhere else, you may not have no clue, but we know what we're talking about. But Kenny Wayne, you got any words of wisdom for us tonight, man, before you sign off?
Yes, sir. I got a little bit I want to share, but I just want to add something to them crawfish. That man going fishing without no fish, he had faith in the Lord that the Lord was going to provide for him.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
But the Lord provided and he caught some fish, and that's the same way I go fishing. Just give all the faith to God, and He'll provide for you.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
That
man getting them crawfish out from under that log, he believed in the Lord. I promise you, he loved the Lord. And he believed in the Lord, and he knew he had to go home with some fish, or his family wouldn't be fed. But that's a true story. A good man, a good man. He's been gone a long time, but I've heard them stories. Kenny Wayne, good talking to you, buddy. We love you. We'll check with you next week, man. God bless you, son.
Okay, hey, can I give him a word of wisdom for you?
You got it. Go ahead.
Hey, keep a smile on your face. Love the neighbor as yourself. Keep a check on each other's driveways for the bad guys at all times. Be vigilant. Keep your head on a swivel. And from Captain Hook, I want to say just teach your children to hunt and fish and enjoy the great outdoors and be able to protect their back door at all costs. And that's the reason we teach our kids to hunt and fish, that they know how to use a weapon when times get in attack. Hey, the way things are going right now, teach your children to protect that back door at all costs.
Amen.
Right. Love y'all.
Love you, baby. Next time. See you.
Floyd, me and Kenny Wayne's pa-in-law and a couple of more fine, distinguished young men a few years back. We was down there wading in the creek, and we run out of bait. We had done got us some pond worms, and we run out of pond worm, and we didn't know what to do. So we were stumbling around and looked around, and we looked over on the bank, and guess what we seen? A big old catobler worm tree.
Uh-oh.
So I climbed that catobler worm tree and started shaking that thing, and them worms fell off. And we just thought we were catching some fish with pond worms. When we put them toddler worms on there, now I'm telling you what, we went to catching some fish. Now that show happened. Me and his pa-in-law, and we went wading quite regular.
That's the way to fish. That's the way to catch fish.
Oh, yeah.
Yep.
Let's go in. That's the way to do it.
Sure did.
I saw a survey the other day, and it was actually a news story, and it listed the top 10 fish taste-wise. And guess what number one was? Bluegill brim.
Really?
Was the number one best tasting fish. And they had flounder on there, snapper, all these different types, saltwater, freshwater fish, catfish, but brim was number one.
I'll have to agree with that.
You have no argument for me on that right there.
But Martha's Vineyard won't never know about that.
They don't know what a brim is.
No. See, here's the thing about it. Martha's Vineyard would not know how to eat a brim.
Ooh,
That's
They
right.
couldn't eat it.
You're
They,
right.
they
They
wouldn't know
couldn't
how.
eat one.
They would know. The first thing they do, take out the knife and the fork. And see, that don't work with no brim. You got to do that right there. That's the brim deal. That's your knife and fork for a brim right there. You got to do that right there. Then you got to do that right there, and you got, and then you eat. That's how you do the
that's right.
brim.
That's
Man,
it.
when I was a little boy, Charlie don't know, but Floyd, I know you remember my uncle Dillard Jenkins. I know you remember him.
Oh
He
yeah.
was me and him and Aunt Hilda. We'd go at the creek and Aunt Hilda would get out there and wade, but we'd get out there and wade and we'd catch some fish and we'd get ready to go and Uncle Dio had a little knapsack that he kept with him. And in that knapsack, when we'd go fishing, he'd load that knapsack up. He'd have him one of them cast iron frying pans. He'd have him a little jar with some lard in it, and they'd put some taters and onions in there. And we'd go down there and fish and then catch them and clean them and cook them and eat them right there on the bank, build a little fire. Now you talking about now that and I was young then. I was probably I don't know 7, 8, 9, maybe 10 years old. Now that was flat fun.
That was it. I've seen
That was
it
the way
done
you
too.
done it.
I've seen it done. I've seen it done at the bay down there. We used to go down there and we'd ride an old big truck all the way down there to the bay with a tarpaulin over the back of it. Hold the whole village ride down to the bay, which was down there some East Point or something. I don't know where
Uh-huh.
young, I don't remember. But they take that lard and they take them frying pan, they take them some lighter knots, Queasel. Get them some lighter knots to put up under the fry. They go there and catch your mullets. They
Right.
catch and they bring in mullets up there and this was in the fall of the year when all the cotton had done been picked and peanuts picked. Be cool. We go down there and they take that all that stuff with them down there and cook on the bay down there. And
All
if
right.
folks that had any sense at all, or any of them folks that had any sense at all, instead of instead of coming back home and taking that money they made off of that cotton and peanut and put it in another crop, if they just stayed down there and bought them some of that land down there on the dang bay, you know,
Oh,
that's looking back, baby.
Yep.
We reflected way back. But that's
That's
how
right.
me
and I've seen that in my lifetime. I've done it.
That's right. But you couldn't find very many people even beginning to know how to do that now.
No,
no,
can't do
It
They,
it's
they
one
take
of the fo-
they take like splinters and lighter knots and build a fire under them old big cast
yeah.
iron. Take up some lard, put it in there. They'd cook that. Oh, they'd have some potatoes. They'd have some canned tomatoes. They'd have this and pickles and onions and this and that and the other. Eat down there, man. It was a feast. And
Yep. Yep.
they'd be 20, 25 people in that old truck. We'd ride out like an old 54 Chevrolet or Ford or something with the high bodies on it with the tarpaulin over it. So if it rained,
Floyd,
it wet.
I got I had the privilege of interviewing a fella right about the time 93, 94 when I put the early morning show on the air. He was from Dale County and he was well into his probably late 80s, early 90s, I think. And he told me stories that they would leave Dale County and they didn't go on a truck. He's talking about way back in the 20s, 1920s. They would go on wagons down there and camp out for like 2, 3 weeks, catch fish, salt them down there, and come back to Dale County, Alabama, with a wagon loaded with salt fish.
Salt fish. They put them in them 5-gallon lard cans
Yes,
or
sir.
barrels, big old wood barrel, big old nail kegs. They bring them back. You're right.
But
It was
can you imagine how long it would take to get
man,
from Dale County, Alabama, to East Point down there, or anywhere down there
yeah.
on the coast, on those sand bed roads?
No, they wasn't a hard road nowhere. Everything was a
No,
rut road, wagon rut road. Man, times have changed so much in our life. It is unreal how much time
It
has
is.
changed. My
It is.
lifetime, and in those, and I, and in our parents' lifetime. It's like Queasel talking about with his aunt and uncle going to Frick. Queasel was a young guy when he was going down there doing that. Don't nobody do that no more, man. You got to have
No.
your gas cooking, you got to have your big egg, and you got to have all this, everything. But anyway,
That's
times
it.
don't nothing stay the same,
Time.
boys. It gets
That's
better or
right.
it gets worse, one or the other.
Well, I'm kind of looking at the clock, and it's getting closer.
We don't
Charlie,
pay
why
no
don't
attention. We don't pay no attention to no clock no more, please. We
Charlie?
roll with
Well, Marvin left strict instructions as to what we had to do and what we had not to do. Now I don't know what Marvin.
Marvin's been pretty
Well,
good
now
at
wait,
reading.
wait, whoa. You got to understand. Floyd and I realize that you and Marvin are government employees and get paid by the taxpayers.
That's right.
Floyd and I don't work on that same schedule.
Well,
You ever work for the government, Floyd?
I ain't never worked for the government.
we
I ain't
don't.
never,
I
We
ain't either.
oh, no. I've been
see.
indebted
I
to
don't
the
get
government,
paid.
but I ain't never worked for.
I don't get paid by the hour. But we anyway we I think we do have to kind of watch the meter on this thing. He was telling me about it sometime or another. They limited. Ain't he got a
I ain't
limit?
got no limit. We ain't got no limit on this. We're unlimited.
Not anymore.
We got unlimited data.
Ain't what he said.
Until Floyd puts that poor wig woman's hair on display. Poor old
No.
Maxine. Now, we might not be. We might be limited to never again
Never
after
again.
tonight.
They about to put
Well,
the hook on us. The black
listen, if they
Tahoes. I
ain't
keep looking for the black Tahoes to pull up in my yard.
if they ain't done got us by now, I think we're pretty safe.
That means they ain't watching. So what we
Yeah,
need to
Let
do,
me.
what we need to do, man, talk to us. We got to get the trivia question on
I,
sometime.
that's what I was fitting to tell you. So go with it.
Yeah.
You got one?
Yeah, I got one.
Okay.
You got to
Your
be
show.
a dirt road sports fan. You got to have come to some of the dirt road sports shows or
Long
whatever.
time ago.
Know a long time ago to know what the answer
Just
to this question is. But we got to advertise for our folks and give us all these car tags and cups and everything. We got to we
Yeah.
got
Yeah.
go
throw
with it.
Hissy Fits on there. The Hissy Fits. There you go. Hissy Fits right on the square in Cogwood, Georgia. You talk about some fine people to do business with. I do a lot of advertising business for my appraisal business with them. They make a lot of tumblers and shirts and things for me. And everything they do at that place up there is first class. You go in there, they custom do whatever you want them to do. If you got a family portrait, if you've got something that's important to you that you want to put on a tumbler or a coffee cup or a T-shirt or a coat or anything, these people can do it at Southern Hissy Fits. They know what they're doing. They local people. They've been in Concord, Georgia a long time, right on the square right there. We love them. Southern Hissy Fits on the square in Concord, Georgia. Some of the best promotion materials you'll ever have in your life. Go in there and talk to them and tell them what you need, tell them what you want. Go in there and get some gifts from people. They got all kind of antiques, jewelry, gifts, everything personalized. If you want your monogram, whatever you want on your shirt, they can do it for you right there. But they always sponsor a trivia question. And I'll always ask Marvin most of the time on Thursday night, about 2 minutes before we go on, does he have a trivia question? No, I got one. Yeah, I got one. You got one. You got one. Come up with something, but anyway, tonight I was thinking about it. I knew Marvin wasn't going to be here, and I knew he didn't have a trivia question. I already knew that, so I came up with one. And this is for people who are familiar with the dirt road sports. From way back. Goes from way back from the time we were in Cotton Hall doing those shows in there, the Mayhaw shows. This goes back to then. Y'all know we have a character that we call Reverend Pencil Johnson. He's
Uh-oh.
sucking, wheezing, blowing Pentecostal preachers that does that. Reverend Johnson, he was known as a big man, a large man. And he wore these polyester suits, and he wore these flamboyant shoes, and had his hair all roached back, that pompadour all roached back with pomade on it. And Reverend Johnson wore pants in a certain way. Reverend Johnson, I want to hear the trivia question. How high up or where did Reverend Johnson, how high did Reverend Johnson wear his belt? And you got to be exactly correct as to the description of how high up and where he put his belt for his riches that had a zipper in them that was that long. And call me. Put the number up there, Cody. Call me at 229-254-2727. Text me. Put it on the screen. Whichever one I see first comes on there. You're going to win a car tag. You're going to win one of those Dirt Road Sports car tags that they make up at Southern Hissy Fit. And if you ain't won a tag, go by there and buy you one. Nope. It ain't the navel.
Let's
I
go
remember
way
the
back in now.
I remember the first time I heard you tell that story. I believe was on the show, and I had just took a big sip of coffee and like to have choked. By gosh, woo!
Mm, mm. You know, go and talk about old Dirt Road Sports. It wasn't us. It was the characters that made the
Oh
Dirt Road
yeah,
Sports.
It
It
wasn't
wasn't
us. We didn't
us.
do nothing. No, we just told the
No,
story.
we just told what they
yeah.
did.
That's right. We just told what they done. It wasn't us. We wasn't funny.
Huh?
If we wasn't funny, the characters was funny. Yeah, you close, Carl, but that ain't you, baby. That ain't the place. That ain't the place where Randall boy fell. It's that ain't it. Y'all come on. It ain't up in this shirt pocket. Nope, that ain't it. Nope. It was hey, y'all.
This
What is
is
Ooh.
really good here now? Oh, we got to thank it. And the way that story come about, there used to be a meat salesman from Camilla, Charlie Blanton, Big Boy Meats. And that's where that was the incentive for the character of Clifford Johnson, Charlie Blanton. He would travel around to all these little country stores and everything, selling his meats. Chris Boy, you ain't told it right. You ain't told it the way that it was described.
yeah. I got to have that word.
You ain't told it the way you got to tell it exactly where the belt was. But Charlie Blanton would get in his car and he'd drive around all these little country stores and he would sell meat. He had a little packing house in Camilla, Big Boy Meats. And Big Boy, let me tell you, was exactly what Charlie Blanton, that was his description. Because man, he was a big man. Nope. Sean Christmas said his brisket. That ain't that is not it.
He's on the right track though.
He's on the right track, but that ain't it. That ain't it, Carl. You must not have never heard that story. But this is for people who have to. And I know one is listening tonight. I know the Undertaker knows exactly what he's at, but he's done once a minute. No, that ain't.
We're
It
gonna
ain't
let him.
bagging away. It ain't on his armpits. Nope, that ain't it.
I done seen several
And we ain't
people
gonna
on
give
here.
this thing away till somebody gets it right.
Yeah. Yeah. I done seen several people on here that ought to know where that is.
Yeah, no, they ought to know where it's at. But he did. Charlie Blanton. He had a zipper in his pants that was that long, and he sat in that chair, and he'd have to hang over the chair. No. Somebody getting close to. No, you getting close when they're under the titties. You getting close. That ain't the word.
Woo!
You probably couldn't
Yeah.
say that on MSNBC, could you? It's just a description of something. Indeed.
Morning Joe. Morning Joe would not
Oh,
approve of
me,
that, Floyd.
no. Me could have to have some more Botox if she heard that one. I ain't gonna give it away till y'all get it
No.
exactly right. We'll give it away. We'll give
I
y'all back.
can't believe somebody don't know that.
We're gonna drop the hammer on it.
Oh me.
We got some good answers, but anyway, y'all, you would have had to. You would have had to. You had to.
You had to been there.
It had to be that. Had to be there. You ain't no way around it. You can't. You don't get it nowhere else. But from you had to be there to listen to it. Lord, we had some good times. No, that ain't it. We got one of them wagon works. I don't know who that is, but they keep trying, man.
You know, I think back one of the, if not the very best show we ever done. Remember, we was in the middle of a storm and the electricity went off and we didn't have no, and we kept right on talking. We just kept right on going. I think we probably extended that about a good hour and a half. Did we wait for electricity to come back on?
Been out over there. Me and Marvin were leaning over talking in our microphone. And Queasy said, I want to know one thing. Wow, y'all leaning over talking into the microphone when we ain't got no electricity. You know, that's improvise.
Show.
We improvise though, man.
We
We make
did.
do with what we had.
That's what
Just
made
like you
it
talking about
good.
them folks going fishing and cooking on the creek bank there. Make do with what you got. They ain't no way. They ain't no way this generation can come back and make do with what they got because they don't know what they got. That's amazing.
The,
They ain't got no idea what they got.
I don't know if you remember this, Floyd. The weirdest thing I ever did, and some folks still don't think I did it, but I got the video to prove it. 10 minutes into the show one morning, out of a 90-minute show I'm doing live, 10 minutes in, the computer crashes and there's no more commercials or anything that can be done. I had to sit there. There was tapes of things that I had done. I had to sit there and talk for 70 minutes without a 30-second break.
Oh,
You
oh,
had it though, didn't you?
you had to. What
Yeah,
you gonna
you
do?
had to, wasn't? I mean, what else you gonna do?
That's right. What you gonna do? That's
That's
where
right.
we was that night. All them folks done paid to get in there. We wasn't finishing them over
Everybody,
there.
and you know how many people left? Zero.
Zero.
Nobody left. We didn't have.
We did
Had
get in
nobody.
trouble though.
Hey, we fed it to them, baby. So we fed it to them. We made up
we
stuff. And we come here and done that, and
yeah.
come in. Somebody get up there and sang a minute or two. You know, we come back. But
We get in.
anyway,
We got in
we're gonna
trouble.
call it off. Ain't nobody won tonight. We ain't gonna give no tag away tonight. I'm gonna tell y'all
No.
where it was. I'm gonna tell y'all about where Reverend Johnson's belt was.
Well, hey, look at him, Floyd. Don't just tell him where it was. Describe him.
Oh yeah,
Yeah,
he was. Oh man, he weighed about 475 pounds. Reverend Johnson.
rotund.
He drove a 1972 Cadillac Coupe de Ville with the speakers mounted up on the roof of the Coupe de Ville Cadillac, so he could go up and he could stop and he could start preaching anywhere. And he was one of them Pentecostal preachers.
Your cousin got it.
He got it. What did he say?
Got it. Huh?
What did he say?
He said right up under his bosoms.
That's it. Give him the tag. That's it. That's where he was with it. He had this big old double knit. He had this double knit suit on, this double knit coat, and these double knit breeches. He weighed like 475 pounds, and he wear that white vinyl belt and then white vinyl shoes. He was like them state patrol shoes that was white. He had that belt. He was so big and everything. He had that belt. He pulled them breeches right up under his bosom, right there, where his belt would be, right there. And he had a zipper in his breeches that was that long. That was Reverend Pencil John. What's his name? What his name is? David Kimball.
David Kimball up there in Hall County, Georgia, up there in them mountains.
Hall
There,
County,
he
Georgia.
got
We
it.
got him watching at Hall County, Georgia, y'all. That's your tag. We're gonna get you one there. Gonna get you one, cuz. Put it on your car and drive proudly with it.
How about that?
Ain't that so? Well, finally, somebody come through.
You know, he learned that.
If I may just a minute, but interject something. I've been keeping up with things. I'm out in the farming community, and we, God bless our farmers. God bless these farmers that are there.
Yes.
We got a lot of farmers that watch us, and they know what I'm fixing to tell y'all. The farmers this time is they're up against odds that stacked against them. And I just want to tell y'all, everybody eats. Everybody that watches this show, you eat and you wear clothes, unless you're in a nudist camp and a vegan. But you eat and you wear clothes. But I just want to share something with you about our farming economy and what our farmers are going through. And this is to kind of tell you, if you see a tractor on the road or anything, just sit back and let the man go ahead. Let him do his business. He's going to pull off the road as soon as he can and let you all pass by, because y'all have no idea what they're going through. You have no idea what they have to go to bed with every night and wake up every day and deal with every day. I'm just going to tell y'all, give y'all some prices here about break even. And anybody in business or anybody that works somewhere, you know what your break even price is. You know, you buy an apple, you sell an apple. If you buy an apple for 5 cents, you got to sell it for 7 cents to make a profit. I just want to tell you about what the break-even crop commodity prices are for corn. This is not for down here. This is not for irrigated corn down. This is for corn in the Midwest. where they don't even have to put out any fertilizer and very, very little chemical to kill weeds or anything will. I mean, their soil is fertilizer. They basically plant a crop and they harvest a crop. And that's basically what they do in the Midwest with the corn and with the soybeans. Down here, we have to plant a crop. We have to till the soil. They have to get the crop planted. They have to kill the weeds. They have to get the crop up. In the summertime, they have to irrigate the crop, and then they have to gather the crop. But the break-even crop prices for corn, like in the Midwest, is $5.25 per bushel. Down here, probably where we grow corn down here, it's more like probably $6.50 to $6.75 per bushel to make a profit. That's break even. Let me tell you what corn prices were this afternoon when the market closed this afternoon. Corn prices $4.09.
Good gracious.
Now, that's a long way from $6.75 a bushel for corn that they've got to have. They got to have $6.75 if they make a good crop to just break even. Well, let me tell you about cotton. Everybody wears cotton, and you go to Dillard's or somewhere, and you buy you one of them big nice shirts that's $100, $110, $125 for one of them cream shirts or polo shirts. All right, break-even price for cotton in the United States of America is 87 cents a pound. 87 cents a pound. That's break even. That's no profit. Today, the market closed at 67 cents a pound. Now, tell me how people can continue to do that. How they can continue to do that, grow crops for that kind of money and for that kind of loss. It's impossible. You people that sit out there that enjoying life, and you wear, or you like to wear your nice clothes, and that's fine. You like to have those nice sheets and all that. That's fine, but it's got to come from somewhere. And the best place in the world that it can come from is the United States of America. But the federal government has turned its back on the farmers. Turned its back on the farmers, and we are in a dire situation with the farm economy in Southwest Georgia, Southeast Alabama, and Northwest Florida.
Let me add to that, and something I sent in. I don't guess he got it where he could put it up today. But let's go back to 1967. Cotton was trading at 63 cents. 1977, cotton was trading. Now the figure I had was 69, but it closed lower today at 67 cents.
Mm-hmm.
No way. But let's put something else out there. And thank you, Joe Biden. Thank you, idiots in Washington, what you've done. In 1977, you could buy a 3/4 ton, 250 Ford truck for $7,700, brand new at the lot. That same thing today is up to $90,000.
Unsustainable.
Ain't no way.
But that's just
no way.
Those are not just numbers we're throwing out there. Those are real numbers. And what Floyd said, folks, about growing a crop down here, a lot of Southwest Georgia is irrigated 10 times, 100 times more than what we have in Southeast Alabama. But you can't make a crop with irrigation. You can save a crop with irrigation. But if you could see what some of the electric bills are that these guys are paying for a 12-inch well to pump on those fields, you get to a certain number that you have reached, you have to stop. Am I right, Floyd? Are you going to go further in the hole?
You've reached the point of diminishing returns.
There you go. And that's what all these folks are up against. And there is right now with the current administration, and whether, if they were to go back in, whether it be with cackling Kamala or out of brain Joe, they have done nothing that I know of to help agriculture.
They've killed it. They've killed it. They've stopped it in its tracks. And that's the point. There's no more of an independent person in the United States of America than an American farmer. They get up every day, they think for themselves, they get out there and they plan their day, they hire employees, they buy tractors, they buy fertilizer, they buy fuel, they buy new trucks, they think for themselves. That's the last thing that the Democrat Party wants anything to do with, is people who think for themselves and work for themselves, independent people. That's my opinion. Now y'all
I
feel
agree.
want to
That's
think
right.
I agree.
so. I don't know.
Charlie, lead Floyd into the impossible, the list of impossibilities. Lead him in with his sponsor and Barry
Throw, throw,
Hill
throw us up the
auctioneers.
Berry Hill logo, if you will, Cody. This man, Mr. Berry Hill himself, has been with this group, meaning yours truly, Floyd, Queasel, and Marvin, since day one. He is the exclusive. Nobody can ever take that spot forever and ever, amen, of Floyd's impossibility list. And we appreciate Mr. Barry Hill more than he will ever know. And I look forward to one day when he's coming back through down here, getting to eat lunch with him. And with that, there's only one Floyd B. Lloyd, and only one place in the country you can find impossibilities like Floyd is about to deliver.
Floyd B. Lloyd, list of impossibilities. You know, it's amazing that the inspiration that you get, you know, simply by just being out and listening, you know, listening to the news and observing people. But here's an impossibility, that out of the 15 million illegal alien invaders, that there are any doctors, nurses, diesel mechanics, welders, electricians, or any of them have any meaningful trade. I wish they'd get them and parade them around. Say, "Oh, look at all these doctors! They're coming across. They're illegal aliens. They're coming into the country. Look at how great we are." They all of them. They let them out of prisons. Is the people that are here? They let them out of prisons. Is why they're here. And the communist Chinese are sending them here. Thank you, Joe Biden. Impossibility that that any Maxine Waters wig has ever been worn by Cher. I'd love to see Cher in a Maxine Waters wig. You know what she'd be doing? Impossibility that Joe Biden has ever done anything honorable in his life. That's a long time. Impossibility that Democrat politicians want honest elections. Impossibility. Impossibility that any country can survive when illegal aliens are allowed to vote. Impossibility that any sane person believes that Kamala Harris is anything except a clown buffoon. I don't know if I want to close this or not. I'm going to say, I'm going to go. Impossibility that Joe Biden can go 8 hours without having a bowel evacuation in his hands. Last but not least, if you will, impossibility.
Cody, Cody, can we play?
You gonna say something, John? You gonna say something?
Go ahead. I want Cody to get ready after you do this last one to play the tape once again with the lovely Maxine. We need the folks that work with us in the
somebody might have missed it, you know.
That's what
or go to fix some lemonade or something. Here's the last one for tonight. Impossibility that Hillary Clinton's drawers smells like anything other than boiled rutabagas. I'm done.
Yeah.
What you say Billy Shingler's phone number was, Floyd?
Oh, no.
Here we go.
that ain't it. That ain't it.
Oh, Lord.
Now, for those of you who might have been watching Sleepy Joe's big boy, I said,
Big boy
news conference
presser.
with all the other, you missed something that I think you deserve to see because if you're on Martha's Vineyard or you watch CNBC or MSNBC or CNN, they're not going to play this a lot. It might have got one play when it happened, but it ain't going to get no repeats. Let's take a look at the great representative from the state of California being questioned by a reporter. Let's take a look at the honorable, dishonorable Maxine Waters.
Through his presidency. They've also seen former President Trump. They've lived through his presidency. They've heard these arguments about democracy, about the fate of the election. And yet Trump is not only winning, but winning increasingly by a larger margin. So what is the plan among Democrats to change that trajectory? It sounds like you're talking about saying and doing all the same things, but do you believe that something needs to change?
I think we need to keep working. Damn. Get my wig all twisted.
Now let me add a little comment to that. For all folks out there that might be my friends on Facebook or say they're my friends and they claim to be proud blue dog Democrats. You just as stupid as what you saw in the bottom part of your screen for being a proud blue dog Democrat, and I would really appreciate you not having anything to do with me. I just can't imagine somebody saying, I'm proud to support the Democratic Party.
Yeah, Maxine. Auntie Maxine. She my woman.
All right, Charlie, tell us about the weather, man, and tell us what we can look for in the next week coming up.
I got out this morning, cut grass, and it was hot. And it's going to continue hot. This is summertime. This is southeast Alabama, southwest Georgia, and northwest Florida. And the things you can count on is hot. And when you least expect it, maybe a thunderstorm come up and give you a blessed, and it is a very precious commodity right now. And we thank the good Lord for the showers we've had, and we just don't want them to stop. And we got very slight chances of rain all the way through the mid part of next week, and then pick up a little bit as far as chances of rain go when we get to the middle part of next week. But temperatures anywhere from 95 to 98 degrees and cooling off, if you want to call it that, to the upper 70s at night. Thanks to our friends at Kelly Crop Insurance there in Colquitt, Georgia, for letting me talk a little bit about the weather. And be sure, a couple things I want to remind you of, and Queasel always does this, won't beat him to punch tonight. Thank the folks that are our first responders, whether they're volunteer fire department, whether they work for a fire department for a salary, whether they're police, deputy sheriff, whatever they do to help keep us safe and keep us alive. We thank them very much because we do things that we shouldn't do by accident. And then if you look at Northwest Florida, I hate to say, but the folks that go down there to the beach do plain out stupid things like go in the water with 2 red flags. And these folks put their lives on the line to keep us alive and keep us safe. Pray for this nation. Boy, if you don't think we need help, you need a dose of whatever they gave Joe Biden to be able to stand up tonight for an hour. It's just, it gets worse every day. And prayer is the only thing I think that can get us out of it because the good Lord's the only thing that can do anything with it. Queasel.
Thank you, Charlie. Hey, glad y'all let us in the house tonight. Glad y'all hung around and watched us. Glad somebody knew where Reverend Johnson wore his belt. That things like that in life are important. I'm glad to know, even if it was somebody live up there in them mountains up yonder in North Georgia. But thank y'all for letting us come in, spending some time with us. Again, Charlie hit it. listen, when you see somebody that's willing to put their life on the line for you, thank them, because that ought to be all the thanks they get. Oh, Marvin, he ain't here. As far as I know, he still played his guitar up there in Dawsonville, in the parking lot up there, trying to get him enough. I reckon he's trying to get him enough money to come back home. I don't know,
That's
but
it.
he's up there working on it. But we miss him, and Marvin, he's our man now. He keep us together. He keep everything going, and we like him because he's easy to pick on, and so you don't have to work real hard to find something to get at Marvin about. But I'll do Marvin's job for him tonight a little bit. I got a little scripture here I want to read for you because he was going to give you some scripture, and the next thing Marvin was going to tell you is that Sunday's coming. It'll be
Right.
him. And the least you can do is to get up and find you a church. They ain't that hard to find. There's churches everywhere. And I guarantee you, every one of them has got room for you. So find your church, get up and go to it. Here's Jesus said this, called this written in red, and so I would pay attention to it. Matthew chapter 7, verses 13 and 14. Listen to what it says. You can enter God's kingdom only through the narrow gate. The highway to hell is broad, and the gate and its gate is wide for the many who would choose that way. But the gateway to life is very narrow, and the road is very difficult, and only a few will ever find it. Truer words never been spoken right there.
That's right.
Jesus said that. Floyd, take us to the house.
All right, man. I had a great show tonight. Appreciate all of y'all tuning in and watching us. We had a good time with y'all. If we said something you didn't like, I'm sorry. That's your problem. It's not our problem. We just say what's on our mind. We say what most of y'all are thinking. We say it out loud, what most of y'all are thinking. We just appreciate y'all tuning us in, being with us. But always remember this: exercise your Second Amendment rights. You still have that right to do that. Exercise your Second Amendment rights. Be vigilant of your surroundings. Watch where you are and look at the people who are around you. Be vigilant of your surroundings and surround yourself with like-minded people. And tonight, when you lay down and in that good bed, you start thanking God for what He's done for you today. And you'll go to sleep and you'll still be thanking Him. We appreciate y'all being with us tonight. We love y'all. We thank y'all. And remember this, no matter what you do in your life, everything that you do, always be
Be
particular.
particular.
Good night, y'all. We'll see y'all
See
next
y'all.